The Supreme Court of the United States has signaled through a suspiciously timed leak today that the majority of the court may be poised to overturn Roe v. Wade, the landmark ruling that said women, not men, had control over their bodies and thus could access abortion services and other health care services if they wanted to. That ruling by the very same Supreme Court came in 1973, almost 50 years ago. Now, after 50 years, this conservative-run court wants to remove the rights of women to decide what is in their own best interest and give that right to a bunch of men sitting on Capitol Hill, or even worse, a bunch of men in the capitals of each state, for them to decide whether women can control their own health care in the state or not. Let us not fool ourselves. This has never been about protecting the so-called rights of the unborn. If it was, so many of those same men in the state capitals and in our nation's capital would not have willingly paid for their mistresses' abortions. No, this is about misogyny and control wrapped in the flag of religious values or religious freedoms. This is about men wanting to control women, not just in the home or at work or at the supermarket, but also in their own doctor's offices. This is about making women completely and utterly dependent on men again. It is an effort to return America back to some fabled good old days that only existed in their feebled imaginations. To return our nation to the black and white Leave It to Beaver days when women remained barefoot, pregnant, and in the kitchen cooking their man his nightly dinner and preparing school lunches for their 2.5 children. Make no mistake, this attack on women's autonomy and health care is also an attack on all the freedoms secured in the last 50-plus years in our nation's history. How long before SCOTUS comes for LGBTQIA plus marriages? Is Loving versus Virginia or Brown versus Board of Education, which gave interracial couples the right to marry and desegregated our schools, respectively, safe? If the Supreme Court and its 9 gods of law and justice are willing to overturn 50 years of women's rights, what is to stop them from returning slavery or ending all of the rights of LGBTQIA individuals have secured in the last 100 years? You may think this is hyperbole, but it is not. The bell has now been rung. Pandora's box is being opened by this conservative court. Once this is made precedent, there is no telling where it will end.